Hey guys, I'm reading a book, really good book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I had a friend recommend this book to me a long time ago when I was in my freshman year in college. And I started college a little bit late. This is a while ago. This is like 20 years ago. And I just read something in this book that just kind of blew me away. And I wanted to share it with you guys. And it says, it's right here, actually on this page. It says, right in the middle of the page, it says, it's in italicized. It is, and it's by the famous Viennese psychologist up at the top, Alfred Adler. It says, it is the individual who is not interested in his fellow men who has the greatest difficulties in life and provides the greatest injury to others. It is from among such individuals that all human failures spring. And right when I read that, I thought about everything I do on this channel is usually within the context of the black community. Right when I read that, I thought about we did a video on black male toxicity, and did a follow-up called, What About Dante? And Dante represents a certain type of individual in the black community who is a certain type of individual in the black community who basically gets away with murder in the community, but is seldom held accountable by the community, but usually by the police. The police usually catch up to him. His drug dealing, his sex with underage women, statutory rape, his crimes in the community that the community has set up rules that say, the no snitch policy, and the no snitch policy, what do you think that's going to do? What do you think that's going to do? Cause more crime or cause less crime? The no snitch policy is there due to crime, and people know that. People realize that this policy was put in place because of the criminal activity, and it's basically there to, I don't know why they put it there, but the end result is more crime. So just going back to this quote, it is the individual who is not interested in his fellow men who has the greatest difficulties in life and provides the greatest injury to others. I think about the drug dealer who, as this quote says, is not interested in his fellow men. I could take this. I'm going to take this. There's a few things that come to mind. I think about the drug dealer. I think about the drug dealer who sells to his own people because he's looking for a come up, yet he claims to be black and proud. I have yet to hear of a drug dealer, current or past drug dealer, who was black, who was not proud to be black, and exhibited all of the typical black inner city type of stereotypes. I've yet to see that. I've yet to see a black drug dealer who is ashamed to be black. Okay, yet. I'm sure they're out there though. There's got to be at least one. But so one more time, going over this quote: it is the individual who is not interested in his fellow men who has the greatest difficulties in life. So they're not interested in whether you live or die. These drug dealers, they don't care. They're there to sell you drugs. And because of this callousness, because of this in my opinion is describing criminals. This is how you could classify a lot of the criminal mentality. The criminals are not interested in their fellow men. This is why they steal from their neighbors. They kill people. They rob banks. They do things that are usually unbeneficial to society, people at large, and other individuals. They rob people's houses, home invasions, okay? Because they're just not interested in people. They're not interested in their fellow men. People who are interested in their fellow men, what they do is they volunteer, they serve, they donate money, they donate goods, because they care about people. So I wanted to throw that out there real quick so you could just take a look at this. Now I want to talk about the rapper, the hip hopper. The hip hopper is kind of like the drug dealer, but he's selling a product which is legal, but it's usually just as harmful. It can be just as harmful. And as we're seeing with a lot of the music today, a lot of the hip hop that's coming out is very harmful. Many of these rappers have been confronted by various people in the community about their lyrics. Okay, a lot of it which talks about killing people, stealing, driving drunk, having sex with women and no condom, just irresponsible sexual behavior, criminality, irresponsibleness, materialism, just everything bad. They've been confronted about this, and some of the things that they've said, especially 50 Cent and T.I. and other famous black musicians, things that they've said is, it's not our responsibility to watch what your kids say, or to watch what your kids listen to. So, just going back to this quote, it says, "It is the individual who is not interested in his fellow men who has the greatest difficulties in life and provides the greatest injury to others." Now, a lot of these rappers, it seems like they're winning, right? It definitely seems like they're winning. They got all this money and stuff, but you know, they're injuring people. They're hurting people. You can hurt people in a variety of ways. It doesn't just have to be, you know, physically. You can mess up a kid. You can mess up a kid completely, like their spirit, who they are. And that's actually just as bad. So I look at a lot of these rappers in that way. This is who I believe Alfred Adler, this famous Viennese psychologist, is talking about. Then he finishes the quote by saying, "It is from among such individuals that all human failures spring." Okay, let's look at the black community as a whole. Would you call the black community a success? Would you call it a overwhelming success, or would you say there are a lot of failures? You just look at our marriage out of wedlock birth rate. Last I checked, it was 78%. Look at just look at drug use, look at the poverty, look at everything, look at the jail, look at the incarceration rate. I mean, all of these things, all of these acts, all of these everything that's happened has a cause. There's a cause and effect. The marriage out of wedlock, or well, that's a beautiful bird. I don't know if you guys saw that bird. There he is. Beautiful blue. What was I saying? The children out of wedlock rate, it's so much higher than anyone else. Everyone else is having sex. It's not that we're having more sex. We're just more irresponsible. And a lot of it can be traced back to music. I mean, I've literally read rap lyrics a few months ago where they were actually talking about, this guy was talking about, having sex with women, ejaculating inside of them, and then feeding them a morning after pill. I mean, it's crazy. And then you look at the STD rates for our population in certain cities where there's a majority of African American people, like Atlanta, and it is crazy high. It's like it's insane. How do you? I mean, there's definitely cause and effect. There's correlation between these rap lyrics, the rappers, and what's actually happening in society, in our society. So, man, I just wanted to share this with you guys because I think what's happening is we have a lot of hurt, we have a lot of dangerous people in the black community who are a danger to us. They're dangerous to the rest of the community. It's their actions, the things that they do causes injury to other people within our community. Our communities are dangerous because of these people. Not because of anything else, it's because of these people. It's because of this selfishness where people don't care about each other. So my solution is to just stop buying, stop downloading, stop listening to music from artists who don't care about our community, whose lyrics, whose actions, whose voice, whose overall, because they have a lot of influence. This is why I focus on this. They have a lot of influence. If we can just ban them and ban the TV shows that don't support our values and that are actually hurting us, if we can do that, then we can send a message to these people and we can let them know that, hey, you guys need to fix, you need to fix this. This is a problem. We can't continue like this. This isn't good. This isn't good for us. Yeah, you're making money off of it, but it's causing problems in our community. And rappers, what they're doing is a business. I once heard someone say, he was talking about the food industry. He said that if the food industry were to, like, if a company, if their profits were to move by 1%, 2%, it would get their attention and they would make changes. So if we stopped buying certain foods, which has happened, like if you're into the whole organic food movement, because a lot of the food is dangerous, it's causing a lot of health problems. If you're into that organic food movement, right? Let's say you stop buying certain types of food. These companies are going to recognize this and they're going to change their ways. For example, I go to buy ketchup. Heinz, I buy organic ketchup. I like the brand Annie's. There's a brand called Annie's that I really like. There were all these different types of ketchup. High fructose corn syrup was a problem. People were like, hey, get off of high fructose corn syrup. It's a problem. These companies knew about this, but instead of changing their formula, instead of getting rid of the high fructose corn syrup, which is more addictive than cocaine, so instead of these companies changing their products at the time when it was getting popular, they held on. And now all of a sudden I go to the store and I see Heinz, and now they have a ketchup that has no high fructose corn syrup, and that's organic. Oh, years have gone by. All of your competition has switched over, but for some reason, you just didn't want to switch over. You don't really care about us. You just care about your money. And this is how you have to treat these rappers, because the rappers don't care about us. They care about money. So if you stop buying it and you stop downloading it because of their lyrics, then what will happen is they'll change their product. Guys, I'm common denominator. I'll talk to you later. Peace.